Rams are in the house at Atlantic 10 Men's Basketball Media Day, and we have the new head coach of the Rams. He is Phil Martelli Jr. I got to work with another guy named Phil this past year.
You bared that burden for all of us.
And we are also joined by Brandon Jennings, point guard for the Rams. And you know, guys, before we get to you, one of the things that I read about this young man is that your mother has not 1, 2 degrees from VCU?
Yeah, yes, sir. She graduated twice from VCU.
That is incredible. So obviously the place means a lot to you. Tell us a little bit more about just what makes VCU so special to the Jennings family.
Yeah, my mom has definitely instilled that VCU culture and background into me. So her background, her knowledge of the place, the area. She actually went back and got some like teaching license after I think she might be still doing some schoolwork that I don't know about, but she's definitely still within the university, within the program. So yeah.
So that's why you stayed through the coaching change?
No. I mean, she didn't influence none of that for real, but
it was all this guy right here?
Yeah, for sure.
So what was it about the vision he had for the program that sold you on?
Really, it was the style of play and the fit that he thought I brought to the team, and the opportunity I had in front of me with the guys, and the opportunity we had to do as a team this year to run it back and make some noise in that tournament.
Let's talk to the new head coach of the Rams. Coach, I'm so excited when you got this opportunity, and obviously there's it's such a small world, our college basketball world, because your AD Ed and you spent time at Niagara in the early 2000s. When this becomes reality for you, and we all know when somebody takes a job, it's a total whirlwind. Was there any point where you did take a step back in the summer, or once you had these guys going, or maybe it's now where you do take a moment and say, VCU basketball, the rich tradition of this program, hey, making a Final Four, from the first four to the Final Four, I am the coach at VCU?
Honestly, John, it's almost every day. When I walk into that BDC, our practice facility, and you see that history, you feel that history, you have the former players around. We had an open practice for season ticket holders on the Saturday of Labor Day weekend at 11 a.m. And you have 400 or 500 people in that building. Like, that doesn't happen, right? That doesn't happen. Even these rich basketball places, that doesn't happen. You know, we had an event, a tip-off event last Monday at dinner, and you have this huge packed, bowling alley restaurant, and you see all these people. Like, so for me, it's really, honestly, every day I'm very cognizant of that what this means, what VCU means, and take that responsibility, do not take it lightly at all, but very appreciative of the opportunity.
Yeah, I've told you this before, but I think it's very easy to look at your last name and assume that this guy got his inroads because of who his dad is. And then you look at your resume, and respectfully speaking here, it's not like you were coaching at Kentucky and then UConn and then Kansas and then you got a head coaching job. You grinded your way up at a bunch of mid-majors. You got your first gig because the head coach lost his job in like September, and you turned that into your program, and you won big a couple of years, and you landed the VCU job out of it. I think it's really impressive how you've been able to grow that way, coming from basically the bottom of Division I.
Yep. Yeah, and it's, you never know when you're going to get rewarded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I talk to these guys about something, like, you just do the work. And for me, I always looked around and I felt like there was a lot of guys that were trying to get the respect of the media or the outside, but it was like they didn't really have the respect in that staff or in that building. Mm-hmm. I always focused on trying to get the respect of the people that I was working with closely every single day. And because of that, you get an opportunity to become the head coach at Bryant, and what that meant there. And I am forever grateful to Bill Smith, to President Ross Cattell there, President Ron Makeley before him, like the people that allowed me to have that opportunity. And then to go back to, okay, yeah, working with Ed at Niagara, like it was just about getting the respect of those people, the other coaches on the coaching staff, the other coaches in the athletic department, the athletic director, that whole athletic department staff. And I didn't know, like, it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to show Ed that I'm, can work and what I can do at Niagara because he's going to be, no, it was just, we were there. We had fun. We won a lot. We handled our business. Him and I stayed really, really close. He was a very close confidant. Anytime something came up, career advice, he was one of the first calls. And so to me, it's just that. It's the testament of, like, just keep doing the job. And eventually you can get through, to the other side. And that's how I feel. I mean, people ask me all the time about VCU. I'm like, I dreamt big. Like, I had big dreams in this. I don't know if I ever dreamt this big that it would be VCU.
Now, as he takes over this job and you stay with the Rams, his Bryant team's last year 6th in the country in tempo. The year prior to that, 3rd in the country in tempo. So immediately I think to myself, all right, I mean, I certainly couldn't handle that. You certainly can. What's the conditioning like for the Rams? How much are you up and down? How much fun is that too?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a part of our preparation for this year. Just getting everybody conditioned throughout the whole month of August. We had basic condition every day. We still do conditioning, but just preparing our body and just trying to get ourselves mentally for those long games.
Do you run? You?
Myself?
Yeah.
I try to. I hurt my hip a couple weeks ago. It's the first time I got in treatment, I think, since I was a player. I got dry needling. So now I can tell these guys what a tough guy I am. But
can you still hoop?
I'll shoot free throws. I'm worried about my legs otherwise. I don't want to.
Knockdown shooter. But if you went up against him, you would find a way.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know about that.
Let's talk about a little bit more about the guard play for this team. Obviously, he plays a huge role, but he's the one here for the Rams. But you've got a couple other guys, a guy like Jadrian Tracy, a guy like Tyrell Ward. What can you tell us about the assemblance of guards that you've got and how much you think there's upside there to what you've got cooking?
Yeah, I mean, we have overall, it doesn't matter, guards, big, like, we just have a good competitive group. And, I'm still, there's a lot of coaches that will say this, right, in end of September, like, well, we're still competing for spots. And, I will say, like, there's still a very wide open competition there. Now you start getting into these days and there are separators, right? Like, who's picking things up and you're starting to add things and all that. But in terms of the competitiveness of the group, the connectivity of the group, I've been really, really pleased to go through June and July with them, half of August, now all of September, and see where they are. I am very pleased with that. But there's a lot of guys, and on any given day, you walk in that gym and you're like, wow, like, it's Brandon Jennings, it's this guy, it's that guy, and it's hard to just single out individual guys, and say, okay, well, this guy or that guy, but to me, it's the whole group together, that competitive level, their desire to win, their willingness. And we have people walk to that gym and sit and watch a workout in July, and they're like, you got guys diving on the floor in July. And that's really right. Like, that's how it was. Like, and it probably starts with him, but, like, you got guys laying out for a ball in a 4-on-4 drill that you're like, all right, like, yeah, we're talking about competing, but the reality is, like, laying out in July, like, I don't know if people are doing that.
No,
so,
people are laying out at the beach.
But it's not just the thing that I love about what you just said there is that you're bringing in guys from the SEC that are doing this. You're bringing in guys from the Big Ten that are doing this. It's not like it's someone that's coming up from a smaller program trying to earn their spot. Yep. These are big. You got a guy coming in from UConn in Ahmad Noel. I think the transfer haul that you have is something that was really, really impressive to me. If you give credit to Ryan Daly at all for any of that, we're cutting off this interview. By the way.
You can't give him any credit. He gives himself he already gives himself all the credit. So no, well, but the reality is it started with these guys. It started with Brandon, Terrence, Michael, Firm, and Obi. Those 5 guys that came back. It started with them. And wherever this takes us, whatever success looks like for this group and for this program, in my tenure, it will start with the work these guys. I mean, there were days we had 3 guys on the court for a workout in the spring, right? Before everybody was there. And it was just me and maybe one other coach, at the time. But the work that these guys put in really laid that foundation, right? Like, let us push them in the spring when we first got there, started to figure it out. And it was all new to them, right? They're looking around going like, well, why are we working on this? And now they see why, or why are we doing this? And they're like, okay, now we see why. And started to feel the success of their own games and the growth of their own games. So, to me, it's just that. It started with these guys. We did do a good job bringing, but I think from the outside, people look at the talent level. Like, oh, well, this guy averaged this at this place, and that's great. But to us, it was the people. Like, are we bringing in the right people? And that's where you can get that competitiveness and that connection, because these guys are looking, right? Like, they're nervous. Like, okay, well, I'm coming back, but then you're bringing in this guy or that guy, and yes, sometimes it has to do with, all right, well, I play that position, he plays that position. I'm a guard and he's a guard. But I also think because they're such good people, like, they wanted to make sure that, hey, the right types of people are coming in this locker room. And I do believe, and I feel, and he could probably speak better, like, I think we have that. I think we do have a really good group of people, staff and players included.
I think it's really interesting that you said that, because one of the things that I noticed when I was looking at the list of attendees for who was the players coming to media day was, I was like, all right, is it going to be Tyrell? Is it going to be Ahmad? Is it going to be Jadrian? And you got Brandon Jennings, the returning. I think that says a lot about what you are prioritizing when it comes to building the culture and building that connectivity and the continuity.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody that represents VCU better than Brandon Jennings, right? Like, Richmond kid, homegrown, right? and
yes, sir.
His intensity, the all I've ever seen from him is care about winning, right? He's never looked at me and gone like, well, I didn't get that shot. It's always just like, okay, I didn't get that shot, but he's sprinting back. I mean, we had a play 2 weeks ago where he ends up like on the baseline on the ground, sprints down and gets a back tap to win a segment, right? Again, it's September. It's not, it's not March in this arena, trying to go win an A-10 tournament. It's a September black versus gold, whatever drill. So to me, like, why would you not want that represented, right? Somebody that's homegrown, that's lived VCU. You talked about his family lineage at VCU. That is a big deal, and has been a connector since he got to campus, right? Like, his mom is the connector, right? Like, she's the one throwing the party at the house, and she has the team over in July for.
She's
a
probably
party.
the one person who represents VCU better than
she absolutely does.
So what's she cooking at these parties?
She's having food catered. She's putting in her own dishes too. She's doing everything. She's just trying to have a nice setup.
Can we get an invite?
Yeah. Come on.
It was just his birthday. You just had what do you have, a hibachi? They brought in the hibachi thing. I didn't get that invite. Now we're in practice.
Yeah.
I didn't get that invite. I guess I was too mean in practice that day.
Really?
It
was a little family thing.
Oh, okay.
I got the summer invite though. I was there over the summer.
Before we let you go, I talked a little bit about it earlier, but I got to work with your dad this past year, and I will say this, and I haven't even said this to your dad, but becoming a dad in May, you see different examples of dads and what they do for their sons. And one of the coolest things that because I would do a lot of Wednesday games with Coach Martelli, with his dad, is typically at some point during the shoot around or in between, he would talk with you. And the thing that always stood out to me was, at least in those conversations from what I heard, because I was sitting next to him and he was talking about a million different things, but he was being a father. He was not telling you what to do. He was not saying this, that, or the third. And I just thought, as I'm listening, I'm like, that's what a dad is. That's what a dad is. He's his biggest fan, and he's here to help if I'm sure if you ask for it. But how would you describe that?
No, that's the best way to describe it. He was always dad first. It was never. And again, even today, like our conversations, even our basketball conversations, are never X's and O's related. It's always people related, right? It's always about people and how to help people, uplift people, make a difference for people. And, that was always the thing that was burned into us. And people ask all the time, like, oh, what was it like growing up, with your dad being Phil Martelli and the whole deal? And I'm like, honestly, like the things for me are every time I meet somebody, they get that smile on their face and then they have a story, right? Because you don't get away with him, being around him without like some story. And they tell you some story about how he helped them or something he did for them or somebody they know. And then they always ask about like, well, was it hard? Things he missed. And I don't remember the things he missed. I remember the things he was there for. Because that presence always was there, right? Like if he could be there, I go back to being 10 or 11 years old and he's coaching me and Jimmy in Lanark Hills Little League. Like I think about that all the time.
I wish we had
all
footage
the
of
time.
that.
There would be, his thing was always never give the team more than 3 outs. I still remember that. Never give the team more than 3 outs. Never give them more than 3 outs. Don't make errors. Just make sure you get them 3 outs. So, it's probably the same things he's still yelling at the TV. At the Phillies, going crazy. But no, it's been a real blessing to have him as my father, regardless of what he did. He could have been anything, and really blessed that way. And I know he loved working with you. You guys seemed like peas in a pod. That was like it was like the perfect. And some of those games were not the easiest games to watch either. And you guys had. I'm sitting there watching just so I can figure out what insane statement he's going to make. You're follow up and be dying on the couch laughing. It's the best comedy show since Saturday Night Live. I think
it was pretty fun.
You know what tomorrow is, right?
October 1st.
Do you know what tomorrow is?
October 1st.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Oh, Red October.
Red October.
Come on, man.
You know about that yet, Brendan?
He doesn't know about Red October.
You'll find out. You want to see your coach in a good way. Make sure you get next to him for a Phillies game in playoff baseball.
You feel good?
I feel good.
Yeah, we're good.
About the Phillies?
Oh yeah, about the Phillies. I do. Trey Turner's back. I wish our pitching. We got great pitching, but
here's the question.
I want to be at the inter squad scrimmage, but we got practice. The only thing that takes precedence for me right now is VCU basketball. If we didn't have practice tomorrow, maybe I'd find my way over to the inter squad scrimmage.
Would you
tomorrow.
sacrifice Ryan Daly's right shoulder for Zach Wheeler to be back?
Oh, I mean that's you could have stopped at Ryan Daly. You didn't have to go to the right
forget
shoulder.
the right shoulder. That was too kind.
By the way, he's definitely in the office watching this, and he's so happy that he's been mentioned.
Oh
all the
yeah,
time.
that's enough. That was too many.
That's it.
Rams, good luck this year.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
for the
Appreciate
time.
you.